Hey, Jorge. Pamela. There's usually a delay on this thing. This is why I haven't been coming on like that because it just becomes so frustrating trying to fool with it. 323, let's go. What's up, Marco? Savannah. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Envy. Hi, Alicia. Kiana, Jay, what's up? What's up, Red? Miss T. I can't see, Oh, well, thanks, Jay. I feel like it's a pretty unique audience that we have gathered here from all different walks of life, brought together because we have the same train of thought. And I realize that like minded people, being with people who think like you, is more important than surrounding yourself with people who look like you. And I also realize that there are a lot of people who look like you who might have ulterior motives and agendas. And you gonna need to be connected to people who think like you if you want to be able to still navigate through a lot of this nonsense. So that's the priority. And there's a lot of conversations that we could have been having. What's up, Rick Tracy? It's a whole lot of conversations we could have been having that would help everybody along. Problem is, the people with the agenda don't want to get down to the nitty gritty and really, really talk about the truth about different things. And I'll never profess to know everything, but there are certain perspectives that are commonly known in the black community, for example, that you would never, just the conversation never gets the light of day. And sorry, Levi, I'm married already. Queen Diva, Divinity, hi. Hi. Barry, if I try to put my face on, then that's going to slow this feed down even more. I don't know what's up with the YouTube thing. Thank you, Pamela. And you from Boston, so that means, do you like Tom Brady and Ben Affleck and all those guys like that? All those BFFs. Goodness gracious, y'all. I can't remember nothing no more. My sister said I got mommy brain. I just be talking and then I draw a complete blank. I'm like, why is this happening to me? And she said, it's the mommy brain. So I guess it's real. I mean, sometime in the future, I want to do some events. I just can't be putting too much on my plate right now because I don't want to be neglecting the baby too, playing or fooling around on this internet. Wendy says, do you think that Trump's tweet, Dems with Russian friends, has put the kibosh on the issue? I haven't seen Pelosi or Schumer say anything since. Also, Obama's cronies are still killing Trump's EOs. I think that because Obama and them won't let them go, let it go, that's how they're going to end up getting fully exposed and terminated. And I think that, remember, these people owe somebody $1 billion and they promised an election. They said, Obama, get your black ass out there and make these people vote for Hillary like they voted for you. Damn it. I don't want no for an answer. And he could not deliver. So that's why he's on the skewer right along with her. Now, the Democrats have to pull either the House or the Senate in 2 years, or you might just see Hillary Clinton come up missing. Like, Watergate, please. It's going to be like the first 48 if them people cannot pull the House or if they cannot get a hold of a single branch of government in 2 years. Y'all about to see some heads roll, and we're going to find out who are. George Soros is not out here paying protesters. What they getting to? $1,500 a week? He ain't paying $1,500 a week for nothing. He ain't paying $1,500 a week to hurt Trump's feelings. He ain't doing that. Did you see? Is that my son freestyle on Flex got 10 million views? No, I didn't, but I'll look into that. The HBCU thing could be huge. It should be. And Dr. Harvey, president of my alma mater, is the head of that group there that went to meet with President Trump. And you know, he met with George Bush, cut Hampton University $1 million check. And a lot of other people couldn't get none because they had been running around complaining about how much they hated George Bush. See, but we had hey Houston. Yeah, the connection is very slow, and I don't know. But on a playback, usually it gets it together. So it says my output is low, and then it goes up. What's up, Atlanta? If you guys want, I can go on Instagram Live too. That's why, you know, I try to set that one up because this thing be tripping. Now my Instagram is Love Kiki Green. And if you want, I'll go live there too. I think Trump is doing a good job so far. I think Trump's doing a fantastic job so far. Fantastic. He ain't done nothing wrong to me, except, I mean, he runs his mouth, but at least he ain't out here blatantly lying all the time, so oh well. What do you think about people on Section 8 using their vouchers to get homes? That's the first time I've ever even, do they get homes with voucher? Not a home they own, like for rent? I don't know anything about that. Everything is like a left version of 2008. Well, the thing is, in 2008, no, I wouldn't say the left version of 2008. I would say the left version of 2000. Trump is doing a phenomenal job, and the mainstream media knows that's why they're attacking him. Why are we worried about the government? All we doing is talking. Do something about it. All who does is talk. That's not all I'm doing is talking. What we did was we just created a huge movement and got the most unlikely candidate who had no relation to that crime family that had been running our government for decades. We got them out of office. George Bush, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Obama. Then they tried to back it up again and give themselves double control and said, "Oh, we're gonna have George Bush again on this side, Jeb Bush, and then we're gonna put Hillary Clinton on that side. So either way, we can't lose. Either a Clinton or a Bush is gonna win again." And they only gave those two candidates attention, except for Donald J. Trump. Just had so much magnetism, and people paid attention to his message, and he was saying the same thing we saying when we sitting around talking crap about what's going on in the government. Not because we hate this country, but because we want it to be the best it can be for us. And, you know, maybe we would tolerate getting stepped on by the government if everybody got stepped on equally. But don't be rolling out no red carpet for somebody who just came over here from some third world country without a pot to piss in. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be working hard, spending every last drop of dime of blood and sweat and tears of my money to barely have a decent living, gas prices high as hell, and then you going to take my taxes and give it to them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The real deal, and the mainstream media not reporting it. Blacks and Hispanics are leaving the Democrats and on the Trump train in droves. Oh, well, they gotta be. The truth is being told right now. I'm dead. Not literally. I'm so relieved that someone is getting positive attention for telling it. Thank you, Red Afro. You know, Like I said, I don't profess to know everything. I'm just saying this is how I feel, this is how my husband feel, and this is how a lot of people that I know that voted for Trump feel. This is the conversations we were sitting up having. And my friends and family that are still liberal, most of them, a lot of them, are so emotional about it that we cannot have the conversation to see we talking about the same things. But my family members that love me and have the patience to just really have a conversation, they talk, then I talk, they talk, then I talk, like a grown-up exchange. Like my sister, my grandma, a couple of my cousins. And I'll be like, now you know damn well illegals and black people is fighting in the inner city, fist fighting, is Mexican gangs shooting at black kids coming home from school in Compton. We know that when the Bloods and Crips go to jail, the race problem is so bad that they band together on the same team and they come out with even bigger issues in regards to gang race situations. We know how many middle schools have had, middle schools and high schools having riots, blacks against illegal Mexicans. And I say illegal because I went to another school district that had the same population of Mexican people in terms of nationality or in terms of ethnicity. But however, they had been here for more generations. Their parents were legal or came here legally at least. Or for the detail, as far as I know, but I assume they were here legally because of the positions that they had, salary union positions. Their kids went to school, and they bought homes, and they just very much American. So it's a difference. And a lot of those people are saying, hey, my family came here legally and this is what we're doing to get by. And I don't agree either with the, not that we see an illegal person and we hate them, but you let them get away with murder, literally. You are allowing illegals to not carry identification. You are allowing them to drive cars and that kind of stuff and get pulled over. We have car accidents. I can't tell you how many people I know have gotten into car accidents in Los Angeles with people who are illegally here, and the person with the car insurance still and the license still gets considered responsible. And it's like, this person ain't supposed to be in this country, let alone on the road, and now this person over here is out of a vehicle. And it's a very prevalent issue. When people got fake identities, when they go to Olivera Street in Los Angeles to get a fake ID and a fake birth certificate and all that, when they do get pulled over, they don't really have to show up to court. When I lived in Los Angeles, I spent $600 on average every year in tickets. I just went on ahead and included it in my budget. If I don't wake up fast enough on every other Tuesday between 7 and 7:30 a.m. and move my vehicle or whatever the crap craziness it is, that's a $70 parking ticket. If I don't have on a seatbelt, that's another $150. If I change lanes and the police decide they just need to write up a ticket, that's $248. I know, because I got two of them. If I don't stop long enough at the stop sign, that's a $200 and some odd ticket. If I cross over the white line and the red light turn red and I'm still in the middle, if I'm in the middle when the light turn red, that's a $350 ticket, and then it goes up from there. But if you're here illegally, you don't have to pay none of them bills. And if you've been in LA traffic, people doing all kind of stuff to get where they need to go. So I don't even know what's up with LA people acting like they don't get it. I'm sure you've noticed the rise of acceptance of pedophilia. Some say it'll be the next thing. Do you think the masses will actually accept it? They already do to an extent. They really do. I mean, they think it's okay when somebody who is like, the highest selling porn is barely legal porn. So that should answer the question right there. Do you think the Democratic Party will be almost non-existent by the next election? Yeah, because when they are unable to secure, because we're going to vote again. We're going to vote for Trump again in 2 years, okay? And I say two because the Republicans are going to be able to maintain the House and the Senate. And all this attention they bring in of voter fraud and all these investigations they doing, good. Go on ahead and investigate and make sure the security is, make it even tighter and harder for somebody to cheat, seeing as though I know y'all the only ones cheating anyway. Go ahead. And y'all gonna lose again, and then that will be the end. Why don't black players and celebrities create jobs in black communities? Now, there are some that have done that. For example, Magic Johnson has several Starbucks all throughout LA. One time, Magic Johnson created a theater. It was called the Magic Johnson Theater, and it was on Crenshaw Boulevard, which is like the most popular street in the middle of the best black neighborhood in Los Angeles. Going, pretty close to it anyway. And maybe one of the most affluent black neighborhoods in the country. I'm talking right up the hill. But at the bottom of the hill, you had some rich riffraff, and there was shootings, and people get robbed, and all kind of stuff. And then here's the other thing. The neighborhood in LA, right there where that Magic Johnson Theaters was, it was so beautiful. And if you showed up, most of the time, it was calm and cool and collected. And the thing is, you just never knew when or if something would pop off. You know what I'm saying? It would just go 0 to 100 too quick, to where we used to be able to go. My parents would drop me off at the Magic Johnson Theater on the west side of LA, where it was like, on that side of Crenshaw is considered the good part of town compared to where I was living when I was a kid. So they would drop us off as teenagers. We go to the mall and walk around and that kind of stuff. And then, I don't know, it just increasingly got more and more ratchet over there until we just couldn't do it no more. So sometimes black people have poor money in the community, and people have torn it up. Okay? So that is one reason. However, there are black people who have all kind of different really good ideas that would help to start some of the foundation problems we having. And guess what? They asked the celebrities to help them, and they all said no. And now those very same celebrities all of a sudden think they running the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's why we know that they is false, lying, and fake as hell. And apparently, you can be smart as you want, but if you don't have George Soros money, then you can't make those A-list black people. They don't have no conscience or no empathy unless you got your coins right. If black people went to Mexico, what do you say? If black people went to Mexico and took jobs from Mexicans, Mexican people would riot the streets and kick black people out of the country. I don't know. I haven't been there. So tired of the racist remarks. Meanwhile, look up interracial violent crime statistics. It paints whites leading. I don't know. Somebody smashed the back of my mom's car when she was parked in front of our house, and the driver was not a citizen here without insurance, so we were without a car. It sucks. See? Thank you, Mira. I'm not making this up. No black people want to go to Utah or Mexico. Well, my thing is, if we're going to have so many people out here like illegally coming in, we're going to allow them to come in, well then maybe they should go to Utah if Utah got room. But LA and New York City is too populated to be taking all of the extra immigrants and all of that. Jay Miller said, I don't want to go to Mexico either. Well, listen here. I've been to Tijuana, Mexico, and I've been to Cozumel. Cozumel, Mexico, and Tijuana is not the same. You feel me? There's parts of Mexico that are gorgeous. But Tijuana, I ain't about that life. Never again. Never again. I was in San Diego one time. Me and my friends went to go take a test or something for the DMV. We thought we was gonna work for the DMV, child. So we went to the DMV test in San Diego. Then it was like, hey, let's go to Tijuana real quick. I said, y'all going to TJ, let me out right now. I will call my daddy and have him drive 2 hours to come and pick me up from this testing site before I cross the border with y'all. And he'll do it too, because he is very, very serious. Because my dad went to Mexico as a kid and came back with very, very, very seriously ill and had to have surgery and everything, like on his lungs and all kind of stuff. And they don't even know what happened just from going there for a week. What do you have? What do you think of the "What do you have to lose" speech? That was my question. What do you have to lose? Hell. Oh, see, my thing is, if Obama is so black, we shouldn't have had to ask him for nothing. He should have just been doing. Because if he was so black, he should have just already known what the issues were and what we needed. Then why can't we just making the materials and carousels out of mesh off top with any problems, greed and materialism driving madness? Huh? Hey girl, perfect timing for a live stream. I can listen while I clean the house. Oh, hey Sassy. Hey Sassy Shelly. Make sure you check her out. She has some cosmetics, right?
Better them than me.
Oh, please excuse my Simpsons game push notification. I think I'm on level 74, you know. Don't judge me. But if you do play The Simpsons, you know what I'm saying, give me your screen name so I can add you real quick. You know, come to your Springfield and get some friend points. Oh, autocorrect. Oh yeah, I know. It drives me crazy too. Hi, Jordo. Thank you. When it's easy, people don't appreciate it. Ain't that the truth, Envy? Yeah, about the car situation, Mira. That was wrong. Shaking my head because you lost a vehicle due to the situation you explained about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I know so many people who have been through that. It's ridiculous. George Soros will pay for his money situation in the end. What good if a man gained the whole world? Says Jay Mallett. And Mira says, it was horrible. We were blessed with a car later, eventually. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's extremely inconvenient is the point. You know what I mean? It's just not fair. And it's like, it's hard enough out here to get where you got to get and get there on time and all this high gas. And it's just so many, like, my cable bill never even matches what I owe them. This is how ridiculous it is. They send me the cable bill. I call it up, the automated system always say I owe $15 and $20 more than what's on the bill. So I asked these people, why is it different? What? And then I'm telling you, it's always an hour-long conversation, and it's just like, so you're trying to confuse me. Because if I don't understand, if it's taking you an hour to get it and you work there, then this is too convoluted. And we paying all this, you know, we have no control over where we get our electricity and our water from. There's a monopoly on that. They charging us out thinking gang. It's too many dues you got to pay to live in the United States and be comfortable and have everything you need and all your devices and your whip and all of that together. And then don't be trying to live in like the biggest cities in LA. I mean, in this country, it's just so many taxes you got to pay the toll, man. Don't be letting people want to come out here and chill out and get free housing and everything in the 70-degree weather and go to the beach every day when they didn't put in on this, man. Do you think Louis Farrakhan is good for the black community or is he too exclusive? Thank you, Hassan, for that question. It's very brilliant. Louis Farrakhan is a excellent orator. And he also understands the way people operate. And he presents himself in a way and says things and makes decisions based on what's going to mobilize people and what's going to be the most effective speech. And that is one of the things that makes him a dynamic speaker. And this is why he makes a lot of generalizations. And whenever you make a generalization, then you're going to be ridiculed because then there's the people who are like, that doesn't apply to me. If I say a human being has 2 arms and 2 legs, there's always going to be somebody be like, I know somebody that had no legs. Even in math, sometimes you got to round up to a whole number in order to be able to do the equation, okay? Like, nobody got time for that all the time. So, therefore, I'm saying every single thing that he says shouldn't be taken as harshly as it does. Also, the Nation of Islam has a discipline offered to its members that unfortunately is not prevalent enough in the black community. And it really helps people to change their priorities and see in that situation, women in the Nation of Islam can maybe wear their hair natural underneath their garb and that kind of stuff and be able to have conversations with these men within their community where they might, now mind you, I have no idea what I'm talking about because I've never been a Muslim in the Nation of Islam. But just from my observation, it seems like once the men have been indoctrinated in the program for a while, then the women are free to be a little bit more in their natural state without having to deal with a lot of the shallowness of men who don't have any discipline. With that being said, it is still very much an indoctrination. But Farrakhan, everybody's necessary. You need a Farrakhan like you need a Kanye West. You got to have balance. And I also know that he voted for Trump. He ain't even got to tell. I know he did. Wanted to go to Nuremberg, Germany, but I don't know how that's going to work. Germany is a black zone for me. I don't know what y'all talking about. What do you think about Sessions' policies towards African Americans? Well, so far, the only policy I'm hearing about that they're saying is the issue is that they don't want to prosecute police departments, okay? I have been saying this since the beginning of time. Black people, kids you got that's in high school, that's playing sports and stuff, and they don't really feel like they want to go to college. They either need a trade, or they need to go to the military, or they need to become police officers. Period, point blank, end of story. Black people, if you have a 18-year-old to 25-year-old black male living in your house without a job or working down at the Piggly Wiggly, spending his money on weed and tennis shoes, you are not helping us. There is absolutely no time. You cannot afford to sit at home while you figure out what you're going to do with your life. You need to make a decision, and you need to stick with it whether you like it or not. And if that doesn't work, then fine. Too bad. You're going to at least try. And so if the thing is, regardless of how we feel about the military, the bottom line is some of the most brilliant, masculine, protective, intelligent, creative men that make this world go round, a lot of them came from the military. Now, I can imagine dodging enemy fire, and I know that can be daunting for a mother. I'm just saying that if our community is basically saying the problem is that our children are not fully growing into self-actualized men and women, then you're going to have to put your kids in institutions that are going to make that happen for them. And I think the problem is with sometimes with Pan-Africanism and people getting real caught up in black history instead of black presence is that y'all try to then think based on what you read, you can try to teach. Like, it would do you no good to take your 13-year-old son out into the woods with a spear to learn how to hunt boar, but then let him come home and play video games every other time. You understand what I'm saying? Get with the program. On today, your son's going to need a career, and he's going to need to have a job, and he's going to need to have benefits. Only then can we even expect him to want to get married and have a family. With all that being said, we need more young black men working in law enforcement, and then that is going to solve your problem. In the meantime, it's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter who the lawmakers are. When you had a black president and a black attorney general, and Trayvon Martin was shot, and they called Obama crying. Obama came down there, gave a speech. Obama said he was so sorry. This is horrible. It could have been him. His son could have been Trayvon. They said, Obama, this is an epidemic. Eric Holder, what are you going to do? Well, first we need to do some research because we have no idea how often this has happened. We are so concerned about it, but we never even bothered to check the tally, statistics, or anything else. We, the United States government, has no idea if there's an epidemic. See, that's the thing. Obama and them couldn't come to us and say, no, black men are not being shot by the police. These are the numbers. Or yes, because they had no idea. They didn't even start to pretend to look into it until after the Trayvon Martin incident has happened, with as long as black people have had a contentious relationship with law enforcement in this country. This is why I don't want to hear about your punk ass black president. Ain't no way in hell he has been living as a black man in this country, and I had to ask him to look into black people's relationship with the police, especially in inner cities. Now, we can say what we want to say about statistics, but I have not seen people of other races being roughed up by the police just on the side of the road, just driving out of my own business. So, with the eyeballing it, you can tell that people are being racially profiled and targeted. I mean, give me a break right now. Stevie Wonder can see that. Matter of fact, he wrote a song about it, didn't he? So, I'm just saying. The bottom line is we don't have black people in Congress that are going to put together a reasonable agreement or compromise to present or to make a case really for what needs to happen. And so for that reason, whoever is Attorney General does not have to make that issue a priority until black people politically really make it a priority. And so that is the concept of why something like Black Lives Matter, if that's what they were actually going after, would matter. But you would have to be coming at it from, like, if Black Lives Matter was comprised of lawyers and civil rights lawyers and activists in that way, and not a bunch of like lesbians and ratchets and people just complaining about any damn thing, then they would be more effective. Like, it's not even necessary for them to be as turned up as they are, because this is a conversation that needs to be had on Capitol Hill. This is not a conversation that needs to be had. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, people talk about whether or not you should be protesting, and I just honestly feel that we should be able to articulate ourselves better at this point, because before, well, black people aren't allowed to be judges or lawyers or whatever the case is. Like, when black people were really being kept out of these certain professional situations, well, yeah, maybe you got to go outside, stand outside, make a bunch of noise. But now that we have black people who are in Congress and sitting in the damn Congress, I mean, I just don't understand what we even got to march for. What the hell is y'all standing in it? What are you talking about then? You see? So when Maxine Waters says, I want to impeach Trump because he's talking to the Russians, I'm like, well, what else do you want to do is you in there talking about? Shit. What else are y'all talking about in there? Now, C. Dolores Tucker was, one of the things she didn't like was the language in terms of music, and, you know, she was really ahead of her time. She had so much vision as to what our problems were going to be going forward if we kept on with certain behaviors. And so that is so admirable about her. But, you know, they let Tupac rap about her and talk about her crazy and all that kind of stuff. At any rate, I don't know what the black politicians are doing. And so for that reason, this is the reason why it's like, I can't tell if the black people are racist. So I'm not really even about to sit over here and spin my wheels on every decision that these white people make, because I can't assume it's out of racism. It could be that out of the fact that the situation ain't their damn priority, and ain't nobody made it their priority. The same way gays make all their nonsense the priority. Hell. The transsexual people who can pass, they can use whatever bathroom they want. The ones who look like Caitlyn Jenner, them the ones that's got to press this bathroom issue. Some kind of way. That's everybody's problem and what's on everybody's lips, whether they are gay or not. And you want to sit here and tell me you can't figure out how to properly convey or explain to people of other races and cultures and neighborhoods what black people are dealing with and how they can help to solve the problem, so that they can enjoy better public safety as well? Y'all don't knock it off. Let's see, comments. Afraid to go to Germany. I'm talking about Uganda. Why is Anthony Weiner not in jail? That's, the question is greater than mine. Your guess is better than mine. I can't get rid of cable. I just want internet. Wait. Belinda, your sad face. I can't get rid of cable. I just want internet. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, man. Germany isn't safe. What do you mean? I can say that as a resident of New York, we get lots of foreigners who come over and start businesses with no problem. They seem to come up faster than people who have been here all their lives, says Miss T. New York is like one of the most segregated people like ever. That's why even with the thing where they were like Trump discriminated or Trump's family discriminated against black people who wanted to live in that particular building. And I'm like, where? In New York City? Because if you Irish, you can't live with the Italians. I don't know if it's gotten better than that. Now, I don't, because I've never lived in New York City, but I mean, it's just very quite clear. Like, give me a break. The Puerto Ricans live together, the black people live together, the white people live together, the Jews live together, the Irish people live together. That's what it is. Everybody getting discriminated against based on race in terms of rental discrimination in New York City. New York City, you better go find the people who look like you, like on that episode of Sex and the City. And Miranda said, white lady with a baby and a moving truck. Because you find the people who look like you when you're looking for an apartment in New York, right? Shit. I ain't saying that make it right. I'm just saying that's what it is. So it's like, oh, now we notice that? Kiki does calculus. I took calculus. I sure did. Do you like Milo? I think Milo is pretty, and I think Milo has a cool perspective, and he's a really creative and entertaining person. He's my age, you know. He's still gonna evolve on certain things, but I mean, no buts. I don't dislike him, you know. It's just that like he poked the bee's nest, so here they come, you know. It's like I knew that was gonna happen. Miss T says, I have made several attempts to rid my cable and just keep the internet, but they gave me such a hard time. Zardell says, I don't need Farrakhan. Religion is cancer. Well, dear, religion is not cancer for everybody. See, once upon a time, you would teach your kids all about hell and damnation and hellfire, and you would teach them that God was watching their every move so that they would always behave even when they were out of your sight because they would be afraid. Now that your kids is no longer afraid to go to hell, they is out here cussing people out, talking about, cash me outside, bitch, how about that? Because she ain't afraid to take her ass to hell and burn in all of hell, eternity, damnation, and hellfire. Now, I went to Catholic school, okay? And we had Mass every Wednesday. And it was scary as hell. The songs were scary as hell. Adoramus te glorifica. I was like, oh Lord, I'm waiting on these statues to come to life. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna take this bread. But then Catholic school we did have the red wine though. We have real wine. This is the blood. Okay, so you can have, as long as you're Christian, you can have your little red wine. There's something in Catholicism. Something in it for you. We didn't mind that part. Glorifica. I'll be like, and then my sister, the only nun in the school we had one nun because I went to a black Catholic school, okay? So the one nun taught the kindergarten class. So my sister coming home like, my teacher got a boyfriend and he come over at lunchtime and I'm like, she's a nun, she can't have a boyfriend. She's like, he comes over every day. Turns out she wasn't lying. And then I had a boyfriend coming over at nap time. What do I say to colleagues when they say, I overheard a mathematician in my department say, women can't do math. I don't know. Like, women can do all kinds of stuff. You're welcome, Hassan. Thank you, No Way. What initiatives would you like to see implemented to help inner cities and the black community in general? I would like to see the illegals removed from the black community. T. You got to go. You and your kids have got to go. You got a dream. I got one too. And in my dream, the real teacher ain't teaching y'all Spanish while I got a TA over here playing games with me and wasting my time and my education, and my parents is the only ones paying taxes. Once we do that, that is going to dramatically decrease the class size. And then I want you to test kids based on their ability and put them together based on the speed or the way that they learn some kind of way, and stop trying to control the pace of the whole classroom. And you need to bring back instruments. You need to bring ROTC. You need to have a full band. See, they have been, these school districts have been cutting money for different programs and stuff like that. You know, my little brother can play every wind instrument because he went to a good elementary school that had that kind of stuff. The kids that don't have it, they don't play on instruments. So it's like, so you get to by the time you get to middle school and you don't know how to do anything, your parents haven't been consistent with you in terms of enrolling you in other activities. This is how they get caught up in nonsense. And so the school should be like a second home in terms of making sure we know, hey, it's possible some kids don't have the entire maybe full support both of their parents for whatever reason. So let's make sure we have really good programs with really good coaches and that kind of stuff, and we are helping to build these kids' self-esteem. And seeing as though you have them for 8 hours a day, I don't see why you can't do that and still teach arithmetic. You so busy worried about trying to include transgenderism in the curriculum. At the same time, you don't have time to talk to these kids about self-esteem or do things to make sure that they are in an environment with their own peers and they can thrive in. Self-esteem issues come from never being able to accomplish or succeed in anything. So y'all keep taking kids that are not that intelligent or that are a little slow or that are just sleepy or underfed or undernurtured or undernourished, and then you put them in the same class with kids that are accelerating, that have a good support system, etc. And you treat them all the same. That slows down the rate that these other kids would be learning, and then that also makes fools with the self-esteem of the other kids that are having a hard time at that particular moment for whatever reason. It's low, because they can't keep up for whatever reason, or their name is never at the top of the list. Y'all, they need to find other ways to quantify achievement, and they need to find other ways to identify intelligence, man. Seriously. And I was in a accelerated GATE program for like 3rd and 4th grade. We meditated. We had people come and read to us all the time. We had to spend time with the mentally disabled kids and like play games with them. We played games with the kindergartners. They separated us from the rest of our peers. Like, they didn't really try to make us smarter. They just tried to just basically babysit us and like hope that we wouldn't be too advanced. Like, I don't know. There's like a fear of smart kids or something in this country. I wrote to the Obama administration about the cable. I wrote to the Obama administration about the cable internet bill being so high. I'll try again with Trump. You know what? You stay at it, Belinda. And Obama wiretap Trump is Watergate. Obama gonna end up in jail playing games. Call in to Atheist Experience, see what happens to the religious. I know enough to know that Islam is no answer to any society's problems. Well, Jay Mallet, Islam in terms of the Middle East and black Muslims in the mosque in the United States is not the same. Now, I've heard some people try to say that it is, but it is really, really not. It's not. In terms of ideals. Now, is that the answer? Well, obviously we don't have an answer to society's problems. I'm just saying that it would be, I think that would be telling the half-truth if I said that nothing positive came out of that situation. And I would much rather you be in really any religion, if you're going to be behaving yourself and being respectful, I don't give a damn what it is. I'd rather you be doing that than gang banging and acting a fool and beating up on women and being disrespectful. And the other thing is that in the Nation of Islam, they hold other men accountable, and that's something else. That's something that across the black race we having a problem with. It says right now you have slime young thugs pinning babies on military service members and vets to come up to Chile. That's ridiculous. Did he really tap phone? Well, according to Trump on his actual Twitter, that's what he says. Stay away from nonprofit. The government will water it down. The government will, but it's a way to do everything. So, but it's definitely, I see how it's affecting the churches, the 501c3s. Schools should have good programs in school to build kids' self-esteem or make sure they thrive in their environment or a good support system. Sexual choice is a personal issue, not a curriculum that's needed. Right. Differences between Africans and Black Americans is Africans work much harder, are much smarter, just like Asians. Black Americans are distracted and lazy. Why would you say that? A lot of nonprofits are run by the Rothschilds. 45 years ago. In grade school, I learned construction, wiring, plumbing in the 7th grade. Hands-off stuff showing us how we need to have some math skills, says Model Nutty. Now, when I was in grade school 20 years ago, these people said, the kids said, why do we need math? And the teacher said, I don't know. It's part of the curriculum. It's going to be on the test. Okay, I know a lot of this stuff. You're never going to have to use it. Ladies and gentlemen, when the kid says, why do we need math? I'm never going to use this. You're going to say, you're going to use this all the time. You're going to use algebra all the time. Anytime you're trying to figure out, if the vehicle costs this much money, how much am I going to have to pay every month to then, to figure out how you can budget or something like that. If you want to know how far the sun is, etc., these people are using calculus, because like calculus is like measuring shadows or whatever to get an idea of like depth perception and that kind of stuff, right? So based on these shadows or where these buildings are from this picture, I can assume this is how far away that distance is. Or I can use calculus to figure out how many people are in a crowd without actually counting their heads, actually right, for real, right? So then when somebody, for example, come out and tell you you're living on a spinning ball Earth that's traveling at 1,000 miles per hour around the sun, and there are 8 other planets on their own axis that you can't see, even though 2 of them are even closer to the sun than you are. But meanwhile, this planet that you're on is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and going around the sun. But we have an International Space Station that's hovering out on top of the Earth, and it's stationary, because obviously there aren't human beings on a spaceship that's traveling 1,000 miles an hour. The Earth is spinning on an axis, but the International Space Station is stationary, but some kind of way it's able to keep up with the Earth as it hurls around the sun. When you took calculus, you know that's bullshit. Now, I can't tell you exactly what the Earth looked like because I haven't seen it, but my whole point is neither have you. You have seen CGI pictures. But my whole thing is all of us got an iPhone. So how come nobody in NASA, nobody at the ISS could just take out their iPhone and take a picture of the Earth? If you look at every picture of what's supposed to be in space, they tell you this is a CGI, computer-generated image. Composition of what we think is going on out there based on how long it took for light to reach a certain point or sound or whatever, right? So the reason a lot of people don't understand calculus and all that kind of stuff, it really a lot depends on who is teaching it to you or whatever, but it's complicated for a reason. It's complicated for a reason because the stuff they're using it to measure, they're really telling you a whole bunch of damn lies about, okay? So when people say that, oh, somebody is crazy because they believe in a flat earth or whatever, now I could be completely wrong. I'm just telling you that based on what y'all saying that the earth is doing, I should be able to hover in an airplane and wait on New York to roll to me. It shouldn't take me how is the planet moving 1,000 miles an hour, but it take me 5 hours to get to New York? Jeez Louise. So don't call the person who don't believe in flat earth crazy and stupid, Obama. I'm just saying it's a question we need to investigate. But yeah, bring trades back to the schools. You're right. Because you're so smart and you love Trump. And he said, she's a very smart woman. Oh, that he's never met except for me. Oh, well, hey, Pamela, great minds think alike, girl. I have. Let's go back. Shout out to the flat earthers. It's really funny. And it's just like, all I did one day was just sat there and listen to what they had to say. And based on my own understanding of what I have been told, I'm like, you right. None of that don't make no sense. Now, I have my own theory, but I just don't care on, I don't want to be carried away to the loony bin, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I have many Hispanic kids in my kinder class. I stress at the Pledge of Allegiance. I stress saying the Pledge of Allegiance and often make all of us say it over again if any kids are goofing off. That Pledge of Allegiance point is very important because I dealt with a lot of racism from like really grown people. When I was a kid, like middle school, to be honest, it was usually a lot of... when people talk about racism, people automatically assume it's a white person. Like, hell no, it's some mean-ass Filipinos and Mexicans and everything else too, whatever. But some kids is just cruel. They find any old thing to pick at. However, those same kids, by the time that used to say crazy stuff to me, by the time in high school, we was all friends, Okay, but there were some administrators who used to just do really weird stuff, lose my test, all kind of old crazy stuff. So I really was feeling like the racial, I felt it as like one of 12 black kids in a school of 7,500. And I had this phase where I felt like the Pledge of Allegiance did not include me as well. The difference between me and Colin Kaepernick is that I was 15 and he's a grown-ass man and has not learned at this point that everybody is not the same and doesn't have the same opinions, etc. And that patriotism is a healthy mentality. Like, once I realized, like, wait a minute, if I'm against America, then that means I'm against me too. So if America deserves judgment, hellfire, and damnation, that includes me. So to root for that would be dumb. Instead, I'm going to support my country because I don't want to die. Now, any of y'all with me? Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's come together. Let's want the best for our country. And wherever we do disagree, let's talk about it. There are times when white people have hurt my feelings. And so it should be okay for me to say that. And then the people who don't think like them will be like, that was wrong. Like, for example, they had, when I was in high school, this boy said, they were smoking. They were smoking cigarettes. And somebody passed a cigarette and it was wet. And somebody was like, damn, you nigger lipped a cigarette. And I had never heard that shit, nigger lipped a cigarette. I had never heard that before. It caught me all off guard. Like, I wasn't even offended. I didn't know whether to laugh or what. I was like, damn, that's a new one. Anyway, my white friend who was right there, like, she went the fuck off. She had a fit. And I've heard of several times where she has had a fit even outside of my presence, So having that experience going to school with kids, I realized that everybody's individual and that some people learning the wrong things at home and some people ain't. But we should have those conversations like grown-ups instead of trying to do it in secret hiding so you can take people's money and scam the people. Identity products is the problem. It is. All right, y'all. Hold on, because I'll do something real quick. All right, I'm gonna get through these comments here, and then I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Let's see here. Teacher, here you're speaking the truth on a few needy kids sucking all the attention. Oh yeah, they be sucking it up. It used to be self-esteem game about neutrality because you were taught what being a good person was, what making accomplishments were. All we need are influentials, motivations. We don't need cable. Look, I need the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Atlanta. I need Vanderpump Rules. I think Lisa Rinna is like, oh my God, her and Vanderpump. And Kim and Kyle, all that drama on the drama on that Beverly Hills Housewives is, and I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel as dirty when I watch their drama as I do when I watch the Atlanta Housewives drama. Their drama makes me feel dirty and guilty for watching it, but I do. 6 videos this week. Oh, Malik, you know I'm trying. Trying. The problem with Black Americans is we want everything given to us. We haven't learned how to earn anything, and we don't know how to grow investments or capital. Well, unfortunately, we're not. Now, wait a minute. When you say black people, now mind y'all, here, let me let you in on a secret that you probably did not know. There is a large population of really, really rich-ass black people. Really, really, like, rich black people. Now, the thing is, if you look at the numbers, the really rich black people, meaning they're in the top 1% in terms of income earners for black people, though, the richest of them have $1 or $2 million, as opposed to the richest of white people, right, with like billions. But at any rate, them really rich black people, they do not be involving themselves in these lowly Negro issues, including gun violence and all of that. They send their kids to school together. They join the Jack and Jill program. They go to debutante dances and balls. They go to bougie-ass black colleges, which I learned when I went to that bougie-ass black college, okay? And them kids was like, oh, I was in Jack and Jill. I had never even heard of that. I did not know what Jack and Jill was. Now, my parents had more money by the time my sister was coming up, so she was like, Trump is talking about black people, it's not having money. You know, it's not like all black people are poor. Like, I don't even know no black people that's poor like that. I'm like, yeah, because you lived in like the most affluent black neighborhood and you went to the school on the west side and you went to a bougie ass private black college. That's why you don't know no poor black people. Because you ain't poor, fool. Nah, I love her. That's my boo. I'm just saying, like, I think we get it twisted because, you know, you might still be real down to earth even though you are of a different class and just not realize the other spectrum and level of poverty that is available. This is why I don't like people who coming out of really nice neighborhoods, especially on the west side of LA, coming out here want to act like they the gangsters of gangsters. Because they live in an affluent neighborhood and it's just ignorant. But there's a lot of black people who really could make a difference, who just don't want to be bothered, or they just do stuff on the low, or they mostly help people, their own peer group, and then they just keep it pushing. So it's not that don't know black people got to get it together. It's just only certain people care enough to help the people on the other end, the negative spectrum. You need math to grow money and to grow net revenue. You sure do. Kiki ain't got time to school hip-hop sheep. My family speaks against me because I'm not an Obamaite or a Trump hater. How should I handle this? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Independence Day is not the same. Monet, hang out with people who think like you, not necessarily because they look like you. Take you some backup, too. You know, don't be going into that by yourself. And you ain't really got to argue with them, but try to be patient. Try to be patient with your family. Because you know what kind of indoctrination everybody is under. And ask them really leading questions and find out what you guys agree on. and then expound from there. Like, I still haven't found a black person who don't agree with me that illegal immigrants is jacking up the school system in Los Angeles. So I'll be like, all right then. Now, is that more important? What affects you more? That or whether or not Muslims can come over into this country? Go to Abu Dhabi. They popping over there. Hell, they got all that money. There's plenty of rich countries closer to them. So why you can't go over there? Well, the Statue of Liberty, we taking in the poor and the sick and the tired and the not no more. That's old shit. The butterfly, that's old. Now it's time to Tootsie Roll. Okay? We ain't taking in your poor and your tired no more. There's too many people in here. I will say that too. Too many of us don't know it, but it's up to us to teach and uplift one another, because no one else will. They will just compare themselves to you and tear you down. Kiki be reading the trash. Not all white people are assholes. There were some nice people out there. Stand up against those Jezebels. Hold your own, Monet. You need a reality show yourself. I would watch it. Well, other than when I'm talking to y'all, I'm just sitting here watching TV and playing with my baby, I promise you. So it would be nothing to watch. Me and my husband hardly ever argue. What we do would be not even real arguments. Like, it'd just be silly stuff. Because I'm constantly losing the remote, you know? So he'd be like, why you keep losing the remote? Like, it'd be that kind of dumb stuff. You wouldn't want to watch it. I have enough for myself. I don't need much. I want more for all. We should at least be treated better than animals. Amen. In today's time, there are many black American families who teach their children the value of hard work and how to invest. My fiance's father has done that for him. Oh, and congratulations, Mira. Hey, girl. In the 90s, people looked outside the bus. Now we swiping screens. If we so advanced, then why are we as a people just in a bad state or worse than ever? Shouldn't we work on poverty, hunger, ignorance, or stopping exploitation? Listen here, y'all. When I was at Hampton University and when my sister went after me, it was black people there who own private jets. My friends I went to school with stay on vacation. They came out of school making money. They know what to do. And they ain't on the internet telling y'all, everybody else what to do. They go to work, they stay out the way, they pay their bills. The girls I went to school with is getting married and buying homes. Then went back to school, a lot of them. Out of my whole clique, only 2 of us got kids, and I just had mine 5 months ago. We had our 10-year anniversary this year. Now, I don't think it's, you know, obviously I had to wait till I had the right person, but I just, now that I've had my daughter, I'm just like, wow. We have a lot of negative attitudes about motherhood also in our community. That's a damn shame, because being a mom is great. It's very rewarding. All right, geoengineering. I'm 19, and I'm tired of people playing around. I don't like playing with people who are not serious about their business. Oh, that's good, and you should stay that way. Especially at your age, and when you have really good ideas and like you could really make something pop and be comfortable earlier in life. The hardest thing sometimes is focusing and letting the riffraff go. But once you do that, you'll be on, because you fearless at that age. If you radiate through any amount of metal and at least give them all cancer. I don't see them getting cancer. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Kiki is now the age where she no longer has to answer that question. Now, I will drop clues, but out of respect for the rest of you ladies who have every right not to tell people how old you are, I'm just, on some things, I feel that a woman can keep her age and her hair technology to herself. All right. Did I lose y'all on the flat earth? I'm sorry. Scrolling through the comments, guys. Lead a horse to water, can't make it faint. Okay, going back down now. Yeah, I hear Florida is nice. I've been to, Kissimmee. I've been to Disney World, but that's it. You from LA and live in San Francisco? No, I'm in Nevada. I don't know, or maybe you're talking to somebody else. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Have a good day. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. I told you I figured people out. Oh, yeah, that's very, very important, though. Especially at 19, I already have learned that you on the right track. Okay, so listen, Pamela. Here's the honest to real deal with y'all, right? For real. um, be, all my stuff is in LA. Okay. And I mean, I have some stuff out here, but honestly, I got baby stuff in here. I don't want a setup taking up my whole living room and my whole extra room and all that kind of stuff. So that's been one of the issues. However, because I don't want to do it halfway. But I got all the real equipment in Vegas. I mean, in LA. So I am actually in talks with some production people who happen to share the same parents as I do. And we are going to put together a talk show style type format. Beyonce is a Viking. Hey, make America great again. Bye, Envy. Yeah, y'all, I'm going to get out of here too. Have you ever thought about going to politics? I have. But I need to look into it further. I'll say that, to see what would be the best fit for me, because I'm more so concerned with where I can be most effective. But what I would like to do is get involved in some maybe conservative type of groups, or conservative women's groups or something like that. Because I think the Republican Party and conservatives are missing the mark when it comes to multicultural outreach. I think it could be certainly improved doing a couple of very simple things. So, and if there are some politicians who would like some tips, obviously you wouldn't want me to tell you right here, right? But if you're a politician and you're looking at, hey, I'm a conservative, but I need more votes or at least more people to pay attention to what I'm saying. And so I think politicians approach issues from a different vantage point than the people do that's affected by those policies. So it's just a different communication style. All right, you guys. I am Love Kiki Green on Instagram, LUV Kiki Green. So go on ahead and follow me. Oh, my baby is always quiet. She is like the coolest baby in Everdom. We just be chilling. Everybody's always like, why is she so quiet? She just chills. She just don't want to be hungry. That's the thing. When she just realizes she's hungry, make that bottle quick. Once I realize that, it's like, okay, we got a rhythm. I make sure she ain't hungry. She don't be screaming and hollering. I could put her down, walk out the room, do something else, go make a video, whatever. As long as she's not hungry, she ain't tripping. Yeah, okay, I'll do more live chats. We've had so many technical issues with it, you guys. So the Trump wiretap Mimi. Have we talked about it? Actually, I didn't really go into it, but apparently Obama was tapping Trump's phone. We know Obama has set up what they calling it, the Black House, and he's got Eric Holder and what's the other lady's name? Is it Valerie? Yeah, I told y'all I keep drawing a blank these days. So They are supposed to be in there coming up with a strategy. But like I said, Obama is operating out of desperation because this is the part of the mafia movie where you didn't make good on it. And you got 48 hours to fix your mistakes before you be sleeping with the fishes. Now, how is that not entertaining? This is my last point, y'all, then I'm going to go. Conservatives, do not be tense. Do not be upset. Do not fret because you see them coming for your president who already won and trying to take him down. We know who the Second Amendment supporters are. We know who the people who know how to use their hands are, and it damn sure ain't the left, so it's not like we need to be scared of those Rudy Poos over there. But on top of that, you guys, transfer to STEM H. If so, transfer to STEM H. Oh, liberal arts major. Okay, let me stay out of y'all conversation. Homeboy is really, really, really stuck. Like, he just trying to get it together. Nevada got a lot of dumb people here, so I don't know. Living in the snow traumatized me a little bit. You know, I've had to kick open the door from the inside before, you know, and keep popsicles in the trunk and melt keyholes. So although Nevada ain't the best in the world, at least it ain't cold as hell. And so that's just a sacrifice I made. Thank you, Tani. Yeah, conservatives need a better approach. How do you think about that 13-year-old Catch Me Outside girl getting her own reality show? I think if grown black men who had no business looking at her wasn't sharing memes about her and giving her all that attention, it wouldn't even be a conversation. It's a pedophile problem. You talk about pedophiles, the fact that she's 13, TMZ shouldn't even be allowed to talk to her. Period. I miss restaurants in Vegas. Now I have to plan to cook them myself. Oh yeah, she be chilling. We watched Moana again for the 90th time yesterday. She'll sit there and watch it. She'll just be chilling. Well, you know, I have good karma because my baby sister was the cryingest baby of the history of Everdom. Till she was like 12. So that's just my karma. I appreciate your perspective. We don't have to agree on every view on the planet, but I know that we can definitely learn from one another. There is no one way of accomplishing anything in life. Great point, Mira. Schedule a live report. I should schedule. You need to see the POTUS. He'll hear you if he's interested. I mean, so far, I think there could probably be a better compromise in terms of the law enforcement situation. But you know what? To be honest, nobody has the right answer. Live a little. Have a good day. Thank you. Yeah, they're giving her own reality show for these pedophiles. That's why. I haven't thought about it, but I'm thinking school nurse. Miss T, do whatever. Follow your heart, because guess what? My sister wants to be a doctor, and that's what she's been going to school for and stuff. And it's just like all the doctors are always telling her, like, this position is not glamorous because they pay so much money in, like, malpractice insurance that they ain't even balling like they ought to be. Yeah, Valerie Jarrett. Okay, yeah, Valerie Jarrett, because I know another lady named Valerie, and I was like, this is the right people? Valerie Jarrett moved in with Obama. Thank you for that, Monet. So you got to be paying attention. That's why I like to do it live. You're between 26 and 32. Okay, that's fair. Obama going to prison. Watch and see. What's wrong with liberal arts? I'm a music ed major with a minor in business, and I play jazz piano, but I have other skills. That's what I'm best at. Follow your heart, Mary. Do whatever you want to do. Now, there's nothing wrong with liberal arts, but what you will appreciate is the minor in business as well, because those entrepreneurship classes, leadership classes, organizational management classes, statistics, calculus, accounting, that kids who go to school just for like broadcast journalism or something like that they don't get, it really ultimately I think affects some of your other opportunities later on if you decide to do something else. Sometimes you and then I feel like I didn't want to cheat. I majored in media management, so basically journalism with a minor in management for undergrad. And I'm glad I did, because when I looked at the syllabus for print journalism, broadcast journalism, or PR, I felt like I would have been wasting money and skating out of school if I left college and didn't take calculus and marketing 495 and that kind of stuff like that. Oh, what part of Vegas did you live in, J Mal? Liberal arts don't make material products. Well, you got to have liberal arts because that's how we communicate effectively. So you can make material products, and that's great. But if there isn't any, if without liberal arts, you won't be able to sell them. Hi, Andy. Nevada may mean Meadow now. Sandoval is the governor. That is all I know. But it is no Meadow. Products are affected by liberal arts, but other than physical art, it can't be consumed. Well, people provide services. After I get a massage that I spent $120 for, it's over. Do you consider yourself a prepper? Kicking indoors and keeping popsicles in the car? Well, I am from LA. I had no idea what to do. So my friend who was from Detroit called herself just making sure that, because she was like, you keep water, and I had water in there. She was like, the water is going to freeze too. So if you get stuck somewhere, what you going to do? And I have been stuck on the snow on the freeway for hours and hours and hours. So my friends from Detroit and those places like that, they got me together, girl. You need to get you another jacket. I used to try to go to the club in DC with open-toed shoes. Didn't want to listen. Damn near got frostbite. They almost could have lost my toes trying to be cute in DC. So after that, whatever they told me to do, that's what I did. Catch Me Outside get famous, but Sharkeisha didn't. It's because of who men are attracted to. That's who's driving, who popping, and who ain't. They think that Catch Me Outside is exotic. Now, guys, I hate to be the one to say this, especially because she's 13 years old, but a lot of you guys might have teenagers. They leave home and they come back talking crazy like that, and you don't understand what's wrong and how to stop it. Usually, either they are having involvement with gangs, pimps, or drugs. That's just what it is. And if you want to stop the bleeding when you get it started, you should immediately pull them out of public school, because that's where they're being socialized to act that way. Sorry. Well, at least the school they're in, and find another school. At least find them another school. Thank you, Geoengineering. I think I'm ready to wear my Trump shirt in public, says Emmanuel. PN said, don't do it. My brother has a Trump flag in his yard. Where he live at? Yeah, I was like, I don't think I should get a bumper sticker. That's why I'm so mad at the Democrats, because Trump supporters did not create that. Democrats created that. Democrats created that, man. They really did. By paying people to go and fight people and start stuff. So I live in New York, might be dangerous. Los Angeles, England. All right, y'all. I'm starving. Hungry. Oh, yeah. Spring Valley's nice. Liberal arts versus engineering. I say engineering trumps liberal arts. You can learn liberal arts at home via Google reading and YouTube. Why are you picking on her, Zardell? Engineering requires skill. So does liberal arts. Now, in terms of getting jobs right off the bat, yeah, engineering is going to help you secure a type of financial future. But honestly, a lot of engineers a lot of people go into fields just for money and they end up bored. So that's why I'm saying we can't just say, you know what? Nah. What's up, Nikesha? You know they be coming for us sometimes. Sometimes we got to get them together because it's out of control out here in these streets. You know, you ain't gonna just keep talking to us like we just some kind of punks out here. Like we just don't like come on now. And then the thing is that good women are trying to maintain like we are classy, but it's so hard to when people are like it's like when you see those British soldiers standing there and they can move and nothing distracts them, so people start picking at them and poking at them trying to get them to react. That's what black women go through. Like people, I don't know, like people want to see us turn up for some reason. So somebody always trying to do or say something to get a reaction. Now sometimes you might get a reaction, and that reaction might mean you losing the eye too. Shit. And then we still wrong. We damned if we do and damned if we don't. And that's why we need to speak out about it because it's an epidemic. It really is. It's a real big problem. And that's more relevant to me than equal pay for women because if you don't pay me the same as you pay a man, I can very easily sue the hell out of you by going to the EEOC like overnight. So, yeah, Pamela, parting is such sweet sorrow. I keep saying I'm going to log off too. So I'll try to be more consistent. So I'm going to start the radio show on Tuesday. It looks like it's going to have to be 8 o'clock, but what's been holding me back is I hate to do that because I know it'll be so late on the East Coast. So you guys, you pick. Do you want me to do the show late? Or do you want me to do the show in the morning? If I got to do the show prime time, then it's not worth it to pay for that, to be honest, for the broadcast package I'm getting. That's enough. But if I got to upgrade to the next level, I'm going to have to start slanging t-shirts or something. Because my cable bill is high. And I must be able to pay it. The comeback show, though. Catch Me Outside did a great program. Her mama stepped her sideways. You have to see the second show if you missed it. Parenting warning. Is that what it's called? Parenting warning? Because I would look for it, actually. I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just stating facts. Zardell, didn't you tell me you was 19? I'm in my field because it's lucrative and it's a giant puzzle. Well, maybe that turns you on, but that doesn't excite everybody, you know? That's the thing. Have some compassion. It's not like she's majoring in theater arts. I'm just playing. Why are so many people so hateful to the president? Because they know he could take it. History points to slavery being started by the Whigs. No, slavery was started by the same Arabs we keep trying to let their damn kids in here. Those are mulatto people. Don't get me started. Cutie pie. Love your talks on narcissists. The last one was near a complete description of my sister. I'm sorry, Ketra, because I know how that is. It's like talking to a brick wall. You start to think you crazy after a while. You talk to a narc long enough. Do the mornings? Okay. Please and scheduling, and we'll see it in your feed. Yeah, Mimi, I want to get my life together. You know, it's just that because I'm so sleep deprived, I might tell y'all 6 o'clock every day, but then 6 o'clock will roll around and it might be the first time that I've been able to really get some sleep or something. You know what I'm saying? Say, because we got to sleep in 4-hour increments. Because somebody got to eat. So I said, okay, well, a radio show once a week, I can commit to that. And I think when I do the radio show, I might come live on here and Instagram too. What's the problem you talking about black women? The problem with the thing about black women is it's a group of people, for whatever reason, who feel like every time, like when they see a black woman, like, oh, I could pick on black women, midgets, and gingers. It's cool. Gay people are off limits now. But black women, gingers, and midgets, they can still get it. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You want a t-shirt? I don't know what my t-shirt would say. Do the morning, Sherry? Oh, I thought y'all was going to say the evening. The morning. I just figured everybody would be busy. Okay, during the week or on the weekends? You talking about American history? Well, Zardell, apparently you know everything. So I need to come on your show sometime so you can fully be able to express your full thought, because I don't think that you're wrong or whatever necessarily. My brother majored in theater arts and he hasn't had a job in a year. Melissa, tell your brother to go into production. See, I don't know where you live, but if you live in California, you know, you can go into production. I mean, everybody got production in some kind of way. You know, be a PA or something. That's the best way to meet production people, production assistants and actors and writers, etc. You know, and there's some money to be made somewhere. Also, he can go be an extra LA and hook up with Central Casting. Or he could be a protester. I wouldn't judge him if he took that $1,500 a week. What's one more poster? He said, what I do wrong. Stick to liberal art. Yeah, you have to follow your heart, because people will take advantage of you. Yeah, you need money and that kind of stuff like that, but usually in whatever job you're in, you're going to be, they can never pay you enough, really, you know? Hackers are clicky. Oh, it's some hackers that you would never suspect. I can join the military and learn something about engineering and get a damn good job. A lot of folks are doing that instead of going to college. We can have multiple skills. Laugh out loud. I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly. You can do all kinds of stuff. Because there are some people making good money doing... Listen, the lady who made the damn spider hair comb is a millionaire. So after that, I said, listen, I'm going to mind my business. Follow your dreams, okay? A millionaire. Spider hair comb. Doing whatever a spider pig does. Never talk to a full passerby. Who knows who's who? Morning, 7 a.m. Are you on the East Coast? Because that would make it like 5 or something here. Are you on the East, West? Weekday. Okay, so weekday mornings. Like drive times. Oh, it's over here, say weekends. Well, what I can also do is after we do it, I can still do more shows, you know, or schedule, or do reruns or something like that too. Do the show whatever's best for you. We can stream it. Damn. Thank you, Tony. I want to make sure you guys can call in too. You know, I want it to be interactive. That's my whole point, so that people can, like Zardell, can have an opportunity to complete their thought, and we can actually really dialogue. So, is dehumanization always the right to treat others any way that is beyond contemptible? There is a pattern here. Is dehumanization always the right to treat others any way that is beyond contemptible? Knowing something about engineering as well, having a military background, you can't lose. I'm not going to do that, but there are many skills that are necessary to that. And if you don't want to, you shouldn't. Hi, Catherine. You started playing Soros. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Yeah, she's 5 months. She's sitting right here. I'm holding her. She's so cute. And I can't wait till she's big enough so we can go watch all the baby movies. Now listen here about this Beauty and the Beast. I keep saying I'm going to go. This is the last point. Beauty and the Beast got a gay character to assist it to guest on, etc., etc., etc. Now, word on the street is they might be doing a kissing scene, and, it's not fair for the movies to decide when we have to have the hard discussions, So for that reason, if I had, I do listen to Yvette Cornell. I don't know if we have similar views or not. I wouldn't say we don't. I know we have, we agree on some things. Some things I think I'm a little bit more radical about. That's great. Now I have to hack her bank account. Okay, so they got a gay person in Beauty and the Beast, and if I had a kid, I wouldn't take them to see that movie. However, I'm damn sure gonna watch it because they got talking teacups. Live action. But I will not support it with my money. I will download it using my Fire Stick. How you doing? Alright, y'all. So, I am wrapping this up. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching my videos and all that. And sharing constructive comments and constructive criticisms and everything. And you guys are so smart and you have so much to add to the conversation. And you give me ideas. And so, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And looks like we're going to do the show in the morning then during the week. So we'll go ahead and do that then. And then I'll get the day together and schedule the shows. And I'll make sure you guys know when to find me. We'll start next week, all right?